Welcome friends to Manyog. We are live and good evening, everyone. So, we'll wait for a few minutes for other people to join. Good evening, all my dear friends. And this session of today at Manyog is going to be about relationships and how to make your relationships better. And even if you're married or unmarried, this session is going to be for you. So let me introduce myself to you. My name is Gurpreet Singh. I am a life coach, a counselor, NLP practitioner, and a hypnotherapist. And let's wait for a few more people to join. Let's this session be an interactive session where you can ask your questions about relationships, about marital life, about communication in relationship, about problems which you are facing in your relationship, anything and everything, whatever you want to ask. Even now, you can start by asking. We can take the sessions. We can take the questions in the middle of the session. We begin the session in another 2 to 3 minutes. Welcoming the viewers who have joined, Ashna and Charandeep and Michelle, okay, and Sheikh Ahmed. Welcome you to the session. So, what do you think about marriage? Okay, if I were to ask you one question, what do you think? What is marriage? What is the definition of marriage according to you? If someone wants to give me an input, surely they can give, or I'll surely proceed. What do you understand by marriage? What do you mean by marriage? What is your definition of marriage? What is your perception of marriage? If my audio is okay, you can hear me well, also let me know. So let me start by relationships in general. Okay, so we play different roles in our life, different relationships in our life. For some, we are their mother for their children. For some, we are their brother and sisters and friends and employer and employee and so many other relationships. And there are certain do's and don'ts in all of these relationships. And out of these relationships, marriage is considered as the most fragile, the most important, because this is a contract. According to, if you see the definition of marriage, it is termed as a contract in the legalities. Okay. So what is this contract between two people? Okay. They are staying together, they are sharing their joy, they are sharing their memories together, they are spending all their days and nights together. Okay. So it's like a contract. So when we talk about marriage, it's like two different people, two completely different people. Okay, one may be residing in some other state, from other state. Okay, different cities. Okay, born to different parents, different kind of upbringing. Okay, different kind of education. Okay, different careers, different set of values, different rules and regulations, different meanings of life, different meanings of love. So there is so much of difference, and then these people come together in an institution called marriage. Okay, now why is married life so difficult to manage? Why do we see that divorces in India are rising? Divorces are rising day in and day out. People are filing for divorce. Okay, the advocates do not have time to process their files. There are court cases pending. There are cases pending because they think they are not compatible with each other, or they feel that maybe there is an abuse in the relationship, or they feel that there is an imbalance or lack of love, or maybe there is infidelity, or maybe a partner is cheating. So many reasons of couples getting separated. Okay, any questions you can still write down. Okay, so first of all, let's discuss about the myths of marriage. Okay, myths of marriage. What is myths? One is reality, one is myth. Okay, what I feel is marriage all about, and what is the real marriage all about? So usually what people feel is that the purpose of getting married. Okay, if I am sad, I am depressed, I have nothing to do in life, I have no hope in life, I am lonely, I am alone, I have no one to take care of me, let's get married. Okay, and this will solve all the problems. This person will come in my life. Okay, it will make my life rosy. Okay, it will make my life happier, it will make my life easier, the person will remove all the sorrows, all the problems of my life. Okay, this is one myth. Okay, this is not the reality. One myth is that Let's get married because we have to solve our problems of our life. Okay, I am depressed, I am sad, your son is not working. Okay, let's get him married. Okay, a girl, maybe she has already achieved something in her career, her age is increasing, let's get her married. Okay, every problem has one solution in India, that is let's get married. Okay, what is the next solution? Okay, let's have babies. Okay, after you have got married and then things are not working well in your life, now let's have a baby, then things will get better. Okay, so on and so forth. First baby, things are not well, okay, let's have the second baby, things will be good. So that, like, this trial and error keeps on going in India, specifically with related to married life. Okay, and what happens is that people are living in unhappy marriages. Okay, they are living with kids, 2 3 kids, okay, from so many years, 10 20 years, but still there is lack of love. Okay, I would like to have your insights, your questions, your experiences with regards to marriage in the comment box. Okay, we are open to all the questions. Okay, next myth in marriage, which people have, is that you have someone to control. Okay, you have someone to be dominant on. Okay, a person, maybe he is a submissive person. Okay, people are controlling him all his life. Okay, he does not have control over anyone. So let's get married. Let's have a wife who will listen to me. Okay, will be like a genie and say, "Kya hukum hai mere aaka," hai na? Will listen to me. Will follow everything what I'm saying. Let's have a husband. Okay, who will be submissive. Okay, who will listen to everything I say, who will tolerate me, who will take my tantrums. Okay, this is also one myth which people have, is that let's have someone to dominate. Okay, this is one thing in marriage. Okay, third is third myth is that people think that married life is going to be one of the movies where you see the couples dancing around trees, going on cruise ships, and having best of the time, having wine and dine together, and romantic moments, and too much of intimacy and bedroom, you could say, things going on. And they think that this is a real married life. Okay, and then people are so curious. I also want to experience marriage. Okay, people who are unmarried, they are like so much on that fire mode. I want to get married, let me a girl. They are on Tinder, they are on Facebook, they are on Instagram, everywhere they want to find a girl, or they want to find a guy. Why? Because they think that romance will be the only thing in marriage. The only thing in marriage is going to be romance. And what we see, okay, throwing utensils at each other, shouting at each other, disrespecting each other, where is the romance? Okay, next is that people think that marriage is going to help them solve all the problems of their life. Okay, any problem they are having in their life, any health issues, any financial issues, some person will come in your life, will take you out of the mess, will take you out of the financial mess, will take you out of the emotional mess, out of the psychological mess. This is also one reason people want to get married. Okay, this is one of the myth that people have. Okay, now, okay, we are open to questions also. I would love to have questions, insights, anything. Okay. Now, let's talk about wrong reasons. Okay, to get married. Okay, wrong reasons. I'm not saying marriage is right or marriage is wrong, or you should avoid marriage, or I'm not saying you should do marriage at any cost. Okay, there are some certain wrong reasons to get married. Okay, because everyone else is married, all your friends are married, everyone is having kids. Okay, everyone is putting their photos on Instagram and Facebook, so I feel lonely. Okay, I also want to have someone to share photos, so let's get married. Why? Because everyone is married. Okay, this is one of the wrong reasons to get married. If you really love someone, okay, have good bonding with someone, you have friendship with someone, you feel someone can be your life partner, you can be a support system to that person, that person can be a support system to you. It's a give and take relationship. I would say it's like a combined effort, it's like a teamwork, a companionship. Yes, you can get married. But just because everyone is getting married and I am not married, and I am 28 or 30 or 32, and when will I get married, when will get a life partner? So let's get married. And what happens is that you get married to the wrong person, or you get married to the person who is not meant for you. You get married to the person out of just the desire to get married, and that's why they say we are incompatible. Okay, we don't have anything in common, or we cannot stand each other. Okay, second is, okay, Many people get married just to fulfill their desires of lust. Okay, now this will sound very creepy to a lot of people, but there has been a research where people have submitted their polls that yes, we just married because we wanted to have intimacy in our life, we wanted to experience intimacy in our life, or we never experienced intimacy in our life, so that's why let's get married. Why? Because it is a legal way, okay, to get intimate with anyone. Okay, you are not going to get in mess. Okay, now there are certain reasons, okay, why people get married is that because maybe they were in a relationship, and that led to maybe one of the person conceiving. Okay, that can also be a reason of some people marrying each other. Why? Because it is out of obligation, out of responsibility, or maybe out of societal pressure, whatever you can say. That can be also one reason. Okay, some people marry with each other because of money. The guy is earning a lot, the girl is earning a lot, the guy is in UK, in Canada, he's well settled. Okay, small nuclear family, lot of properties. Okay, this is also one reason to get married. Okay, I feel that this is one of the wrong reasons to get married. For you this can be the right reason. Okay, I cannot say whatever is right for me is right for you, but ideally the you could say money and the excitement of money, it fades over time, and then you would gradually want a loving partner. So even this excitement of money fades away, you will be regretting that I would have opted for a loving partner. Okay, next is, what are some reasons of divorce? Okay, why there are so many divorces, why people want to separate? People are so eager to get married, and then they want to separate. Okay, they want to have a life partner, and then they want to be alone. They want to have someone with them, they want a friend as a companion, and then they say, no, I will live all alone, I don't want anyone, this is a messy life. What makes them say all of these things? Okay, the members who are live, let's have an interactive communication. The chat box is open. Write your questions, insights, anything about marriage, relationship, breakup, anything which you want to ask, if it's related to relationships. Okay, now number one reason of divorce, specifically in India also, and in every country is, what is it? It is infidelity. Okay, what is infidelity? Okay, let me just check. Okay, yes, what is any questions, please do ask. Okay, no questions yet. Infidelity means cheating of the partner. Okay, you have already been married to a guy or a girl, and then you seek someone else. Okay, you seek excitement out of marriage. You seek, you could say, intimacy out of marriage. You seek emotional support out of marriage. Okay, you want someone better than your life partner, or you find someone who is better than your life partner, or maybe you find excitement with that person. Okay, so what you do, you have an affair with that person, you do two timing at that time. Okay, you are with your wife in the daytime, and maybe you are in office, you are with that person, or maybe you want to talk to that person. Why? Because there is some need which you want to fulfill outside of marriage. Okay, we will go deeper into this later on. Okay, so number one reason is infidelity. No one will tolerate a cheating husband, cheating wife. Someone cheated you. Okay, let's get divorced. This is a reaction. Okay, I'm not saying cheating is right or wrong. I'm not supporting cheating, or I'm not against cheating. Okay, I would say I'm against cheating. Okay, but let's first define what is cheating. Okay, let's get the definition of cheating in the right sense. Then we could say that we are against cheating or we are pro cheating. Okay, but I would say that this is one of the number one reasons that my partner cheated me. I was there and he pursued some other girl or guy. Okay, second is that communication problems. This is also the number two best reason to get divorced. Okay, not the best reason. This is one of the reasons where people find that it is difficult to survive a marriage. Why? What is communication? It's like, I speak, my partner speaks. I hear from my ears, but I also listen. I also understand what is happening. I also understand what the other person is saying. I also understand the context of the other person. That is called good communication. What I say, the other person understands. What the other person says, I understand. If we don't understand what we are saying, it's like I speak Punjabi, the other person is speaking French. Okay, not a match. Okay, or I need a translator. Okay, to translate what the other person is saying. So in married life, what happens is that because of communication issues, also people get divorced. Next is addiction. A bigger reason in India is addiction. People are addicted to smoking, to alcohol, to all sorts of drugs. Okay, some people are addicted to watching elite content on the internet or visiting some places. Okay, there are different kind of addictions. And the addiction, it makes the entire family suffer. Not just the wife or not just the husband. Everyone suffers financially, emotionally, in every way. This is a kind of abuse which happens in the family. So this is also one reason why marriages fail. Next is lack of intimacy. Many people, okay, if intimacy is very important for them, okay, very important, okay. For suppose I get married to someone and I want intimacy 5 times a week, and my partner is okay with 1 time a week. I feel like I'm not being taken care of, or my partner is being mean, or my partner is not a giving person, and my partner might feel that I am not an understanding husband, I am not understanding her side, I am not understanding her health issues. So this leads to again a communication gap. Okay, difference between the libidos of partners also leads to divorce of separation in so many cases. In fact, in Indian law, you could say lack of intimacy in a relationship is considered as a valid reason for divorce. Okay, next is constant conflict. Every day you are fighting. Okay, every day you are shouting at each other. Okay, okay, thank you so much, Natali. Okay, Natali, I would also like to have some questions from you, some insights from you, and I'm talking about a constant conflict. Everyone is fighting day in and day out. You are struggling. You are fighting with your parents, fighting with your in-laws, fighting with your children. Children are seeing your fights. You are being violent. You are being abusive. And all of these leads to a messy married life, and no one wants to have such a married life. In fact, it also affects your kids and and them psychologically. So this is one reason of people getting divorced. Okay, next is abuse. Coming to abuse, I define abuse at A for abuse. A B use. A B is abnormal. What is A B? It's abnormal. A B use. Abnormal use of your dominance, of your power. Okay, whatever dominance you have, the power you have, you use it. Okay, I'll come to you, Rashid. What is the right time to get married? Okay, I'll come to you. Okay, what is abuse? Is abnormal use of your power, of your dominance. You feel I'm superior to the other person, I can control the other person, I can get my work done from the other person, I can have a slave. Okay, such a bad feeling to have. Okay, that you feel that the other person is your slave, is your servant. Okay, that is called abuse, and I personally feel that no one should be there in an abusive relationship. If the abusive relationship can be corrected with the help of a counselor, a therapist, a life coach, relationship coach, yes, get it rectified. But if it continues to be an abusive relationship, no, don't be in that relationship. Okay, okay, I will also come to this. Last, we are just finishing off with the reasons of divorce, then taking two questions. Okay, okay. Next is unrealistic expectations. Okay, I expect too much from my partner. Okay, I like, I have seen, I have got an image of a real partner. You could say an ideal partner from movies. Okay, from friends, from photos on Instagram. Okay, ideal partner, and my partner is not like that. I want a particular figure of my wife or my husband, or my husband's physique should be in a certain way. I did not get that. Okay, disappointment, so much of disappointment. Okay, expectation, disappointment, expectation, disappointment. What happens is that you generally feel, let's have an affair, let's find someone beautiful, let's find someone fit, let's find someone with more money, you know, and then more messy married life. Okay, these are some reasons of divorce. Coming to questions. Okay, Rakshit asks that what is the right time to get married? Right time, okay. Right time, right age, okay. Or you could say right frame of mind. Okay, let's see all the things. Okay, okay. Right time or right age. Okay, right age is the legal age. Okay, if you are above legal age, it's 21 in India. Get married. Okay, no one stops you. Okay, right time to get married, right time to get married, I would say when you have really known that person well. You have really known that person well. You have been with that person for some period of time. I would not say 5 6 years living with the person. I have had clients who have had 6 years, 7 years of live-in relationships, and then even then their marriage is messy. Even then they feel they are not made for each other. Okay, so I would say a reasonable period of time, 6 months to a year, to know the person, to know the good things about the person, to know the bad things about the person, and accepting your bad things, and he or she also accepts your bad things. Okay, your shortcomings. Okay, your anger. Okay, your insecurities, everything. Okay, everything transparent. So I would say that is the right time to get married. Okay, right time when you know the person well. Okay, when you know the challenge well. Okay, if I want to take a challenging task, marriage is a challenging task. I would say it is the biggest challenging task. Marriage is a challenging task, and if you really want to take such a challenge, it has to be with preparation. You need to be prepared what you are getting into. Okay, if you even want to get into a swimming pool, you must know what is the depth of the swimming pool. So know the person well. That is the right time to get married. If you want to ask what is the right age to get married, I already told you. Legal age, any legal age is right to get married. Okay, and what is the right frame of mind to get married? This is very important. Okay, after this I'm coming to Natali's questions. Okay, what is the right frame of mind? What is frame of mind? When I got married, was I in a previous relationship with someone and that was failed relationship, and I feel lonely, I feel vulnerable, I feel cheated, I feel I want someone? This is not the right frame to get married. Okay, maybe I'm in the low phase of my life, very low phase of my life, low, poor health, poor finances. Okay, lonely, depressed. I let me get married. Not the right frame to get married. Right frame to get married should be when you are doing what you are supposed to do in your career, in your health, in your finances. All the things are going well, both the sides there also. And then you get married to the person, not to mask your issues, not to cover up your issues. Okay, not like a band-aid to your issues. Okay, it's why, because you want to experience that person as a companion. You want to have that companionship, that friendship with that person. Just this is the reason to get married. That is the right frame of mind to get married. Not when you think you are needy and you want someone in your life. If I answer your question, let me know. If you have more questions, please ask. I'm taking Natalie's Franklin's. Sorry if I misspell your name. Your question: advice for a guy who has a girlfriend, okay, but still clearly has feelings for his ex. Okay, advice for a guy. So we are advising this guy who has a girlfriend. Okay, it means he has committed to that girl. Okay, that I will marry you or we are together. Okay, but still clearly has feelings for his ex. Okay, so let's talk about ex. Okay, what is ex? Okay, uh, X means something which has already gone by, the time which has passed by, the person is no more in his or her life. Okay, but there are fragments of the person, there are memories of the person, there are certain things which maybe he enjoyed with the person, certain good things about the person, or maybe certain hurts from the person, anything, good things also, bad things also, that he remembers about the ex. Okay, okay, first thing is that he genuinely should have forgotten the ex, or wanting to forget the ex, or not pursue the ex. This is the first thing. The criteria is that, okay, he cannot be like this as, till the time my ex does not come back to me, let's have a backup girlfriend. Okay, and when the ex comes back to me, let me dump this girl. No, this is not right. If the guy for which we are seeking advice is doing this, so he has to stop this. First of all, he has to be very clear that I don't want my ex in my life. The relationship has ended. Now I want to be with the girl I am with. I want to respect her, I want to be with her, I want to have companionship with her, and now I am having feelings for my ex. Feelings for my ex and residue from the relationship, past relationship, are two different things. Feelings have some value, have some emotions. Okay, how is he having feelings for the ex? Okay, feelings mean there is some value, there is some energy in feelings. Okay, I think he should have feelings for the current girlfriend. Okay, he should invest all the feelings in the current girlfriend. He can have some memories of some residue from the ex. That I can understand. If the breakup was maybe 2 months, 3 months, 6 months back, or even 8, 9 months back, there are chances that people might remember some instances of the previous relationship. I would advise this guy that spend as much time as possible with your current girlfriend. Okay, don't try to compare current girlfriend with the past girlfriend. Okay, strictly keep yourself away from any communication with your ex girlfriend. Okay, if you are really think you are having feelings, okay, then either end this relationship or go back to your previous relationship. You have to do one thing, but you cannot manipulate people. Okay, you cannot be with people and say I still have feelings. You cannot do two timing. You have to be very clear what you really want to do, and slowly steadily by time, okay, you will get over the feelings, or I would say remembrance of your ex. Okay, feelings is not the right word, I would say. Okay, if I answer your question or more questions, Natali, please ask me. We are proceeding. Okay. Okay, next is according to Abraham Maslow. Okay, what he says that everyone needs to be loved and to be belonged. Okay, this is, you could say, fundamental needs of human beings. Okay, if you three see hierarchy of needs, you would see food, clothing, shelter are the important things. Okay, why? Basic things. Suppose my girlfriend is giving me a lot of love, I am giving a lot of love, and I don't go to work, she'll kick my ass and say go and earn money. True. Why? Because I need food, I need shelter, I need security, I need money for my finances. Okay, just I cannot survive only with intimacy and love. So basic things are food, clothing, shelter, and your basic needs. Okay, your finances being taken care of. Next is, okay, having respect. Okay, in the society people respect you, people know you, people take care of you. Okay, and then it comes is that you feel belonged, you feel someone loves you, you belong to a group, your parents love you, they hug you, they cuddle you, they support you. Okay, so all of these things, these are basic human needs. So what happens, why couples fight? Because their basic needs are not met. The most important reason or common reason for couples fighting and not getting along with relationship is that my needs of love, my needs of intimacy, my needs of hugs, cuddles, appreciation, affection, attention are not met by my partner, and he is not giving me time, she is not giving me time. These are reasons for people to fight in marriage. But should we really ask this question? We'll come to that question later on. Okay, very important question. Okay, people who are live, again, let's have an interactive session on Manyog Instagram live on relationships. Any questions, please do ask. Okay, this is an opportunity for all of you, please use it. Okay, we are coming to marriage. Okay, tips for happy married life. Okay, does a happy married life exist? Okay, anyone wants to give input? Happy married life, and they lived happily ever after. Okay, dreamy married life. Okay, everyone is happy, everyone is smiling. Okay, maybe faking a smile. Okay, everyone is so happy. So first of all, I would say the most important thing in a relationship is communication. What you talk, when you talk, how you talk, what you listen, how you listen, what you interpret. Okay, what you say and what they interpret, what they say and what you interpret, this is the most important thing, that is called communication. Okay, usually couples don't communicate the right way. Okay, first I am sharing with you tips, you could say 6 to 10 tips on how to communicate better in relationship. The first and foremost thing for a happy married life is going to be learning to communicate better. Any questions, please ask me, please ask me, please ask me. Okay, first is understand what the other person is trying to say. Okay, don't listen to react. Someone tells me, okay, you always get late for party, and you are like, you always find faults in me, you are like that, you are like that. Okay, so I want to react, I don't want to listen, I don't want to understand, I don't want to understand the context of the information, I don't want to understand what my husband or wife is going to say. I want to react. Why? I want to show dominance, I want to show I'm superior, I want to show I'm at par with you. Okay, I'm equivalent to you. Okay, so this fight for I'm better, I'm better, I'm superior. But why did you forget marriage was all about companionship? It was about equality. It was about two friends being together, holding hands together, and sailing through this married life, helping each other. And how did you see that when did you become enemies of each other? When did you become people who are competing with each other? When did you become people who are putting down each other? Did you see over years you have become individuals who are not happy with each other's happiness? If you have a very dear friend, and he gets a good job, you should be happy. If you have a very dear friend, he has good health, you should be happy. If you have a very dear friend, he progresses in his life, he's happy, he's smiling, you should be happy. But what's happening in married life? Husband is not able to see wife happy, wife is not able to see husband happy. Why? Because suddenly you feel there is a competition going on. You don't feel it's like a combination of my work and his work, and we are together running an institution of marriage. No, it's like I am the better provider, I am the better in marriage, I am a better husband, I am a better wife. This competition is going on. Okay, first is understand what the other person is trying to say. I will also help you to know what you should say to your partner, how you should say to your partner. That will help you understand. Okay, next I would say is that whenever your partner tells you anything, accuses you of anything, tells you you are not good at anything, tells you what is wrong with you, tells you that you are a mess, you are not worthy of enough, you should question your partner. How? By using two kind of statements. The number one statement which I say is called reflective statement. Is everyone following? You can type yes. Any questions, please type. First is called reflective statement. I look into the mirror, what I see? Reflection. Okay. When the other person tells you, okay, today you don't look good, and I'm like, oh, I don't look good, I'm not a good wife, I'm not a pretty wife. Now he will find some other girl, he'll find some hot girl, he'll maybe date that girl, then he'll marry that girl, I will be abandoned, I will be rejected, I will be alone. Okay, okay, you don't look good. Does it mean all of these things? What we do is that jumping to conclusions, we jump to conclusions. Okay, you don't look good, so how to react to such a statement? First is reflection. Okay, repeat the statement to your husband. Did you just say that I don't look good? Is that what you want to say? Okay, dear husband, you just said that I don't look good. Is that what you really want to say? What happens is that when you use reflection, the other person's consciousness becomes awake, alert, and he gets time to introspect what he has told you and correct it. It has happened a lot of time. Okay, you probe, you ask the person, is this really what you really want to say? Okay, suppose he says yes, you don't look good, this is what I want to say. Then what to do next? You have to do what I call is that I feel statements. Okay, or you have to specify, tell him to be more specific. Ask your husband, what about me does not look good today? Is it my hair? Is it my makeup? Is it my hairstyle? Is it my eyebrows? Is it my eyes? What is it about me that does not look today? Be specific. Tell your husband, tell your wife, be specific about me. If I am not punctual, be specific. Okay, tell me the incidents when I was not punctual. Be specific about what you don't like about me. Don't say you don't like me, I'm not good. Okay, that is a general statement. General statements will not work. Now you also have to do the same thing with your husband and wife. If you want to tell your husband and wife that they are wrong on a certain thing, you want to point out their mistakes, you want to tell them, you want to help them correct their mistakes, you have to be specific to the mistake. Specific to the mistake. What is specifically their mistake? Okay, some people, after their husbands have cheated and they have forgiven, and after that they are living a happy life, and then they see their husband's phone is busy with someone else, again they start inquiring. I know you have another girl, I know you are hiding something, I know you are again in a relationship, I know you are cheating me. Why? That is over. The past cheating incident is over. You have forgiven your husband. If you did not want to forgive, then get off him. Okay, just divorce him. But if you have given him a chance without any authenticity, without any proof, do not tell your husband or wife that they are wrong on this thing. If you feel, be specific about what is wrong about them. Okay, this is one communication tip which I am sharing with you. Okay, any questions till now? I would be very happy if you ask questions so that I also get my brain running slightly more faster. Any questions? Next, tip for a happy married life is that, okay, I will say this 100 times, 200 times. RESPECT. What is that? Respect. Respect. Your husband is not your property. Your wife is not your property. Okay, I got a certain request from, okay, request from Chris Tom. Okay, for the time being, I will hold on to this request. Still, you can ask your question in the chat box. At the end of the session, I will accept this. Okay, for sure. Uh, First thing I would like to say is that respect. What is respect? Okay, we respect our teachers, we respect elders, we respect our parents, we respect our boss. Why? Because there is certain level of responsibility. Okay, why do we feel that we can take our husband or wife for granted? We can tell them anything, we can be messy with them, we can shout at them, we can be abusive at them, and then even then they will be by our side. Yes, they will be by your side, but what happens is that the cream of the relationship, it goes away. From internally the relationship keeps on drying. Okay, it becomes hollow, it starts becoming more hollower. So I would say respect your partner. If you are in a lot of anger, tell your partner, I'm really furious, I'm really in a lot of anger, I am affected by so many things, my work, office, so much of politics in office life, and then my mother, your mother-in-law, and all of these things. I'm not in the right frame of mind to talk. Okay, let's switch off for some time. Let's take off for some hours for a certain day. Whenever you feel that you are going to cross the boundary of that respect, okay, go inside your shell like a turtle, 1 2 3 turtle, so that you protect yourself from the anger, the other person from the anger, and ultimately yourself from the guilt. Ultimately you will regret next day, why was I angry on my wife, my husband, I did not do good, guilt, I'm not a good husband, good wife, self sabotage, and more feeling more bad towards yourself, and then again repeating the mistake. Why do you want to get into that circle? Better is that before you react, if you feel you are not in the right frame of mind, detach from the person. Okay, and next is that I would say is that about trust and being faithful to your husband and wife. I would clearly say that yes, being faithful to your husband and wife, not cheating your husband and wife. If you have committed to a certain husband and wife, it is very important. Okay, when I was saying what is cheating, let's define cheating. Okay, there are two types of cheating: emotional cheating and then physically cheating. And most of the times people are furious on the physical cheating aspect, that my husband slept with another girl, my wife went with some other guy. Okay, this is what they are furious on. They are angry on that, how could I be betrayed, how was I not sufficient for my husband, how did my husband feel the need to go to someone else. Okay, this is also cheating in some way, but I would say this is still not a very deeper level of cheating. I'm not saying go cheat the physical way, I'm not saying this, but I'm saying I would consider cheating to be emotional cheating, where when you are with a partner and you are with another person, giving all your emotions also to that person and also to your partner, to both of these people. Okay, I would say that is a bigger cheating. Okay, which is slightly difficult to forgive, but still everything is forgivable. Okay, depends on circumstances, depends on your value system, but I would say more than physical cheating, this is a more grave problem which we need to handle. Okay, any questions till now? Dear friends, any questions till now? What is the time? It's 7:38. Okay, we are going to have 15 minutes for the questions. Any questions till now? Okay, next thing or tip for good communication and happy married life, I would say, okay, which I want to share with you is that get off the past. Get off the past. Okay, why do we say no? There is no benefit over crying over spilled milk. Why? You cannot collect it, you cannot get it back to your glass or your utensil. No, it's already spilled. Okay, now your husband did something with you, was mean to you, okay, was rude to you, okay, 3 months back, 3 years back, 30 years back. I have seen couples who can remember the incident 30 years back, 20 years back, when their husband or wife was not good with them. Means they have not forgiven for 20 years, 30 years, and they still hold on to that. They still have grudges. I would say whenever you have grudges towards your partner, sort it out. Okay, in those days itself, don't let it pile up, and then it piles up, piles up, piles up, and then you feel after 10 years that you are not with the right person. And start forgiving your partner, because we are human beings. Ultimately we are human beings, we are not programmed as robots. Okay, I do the programming, okay, perfect husband created, perfect wife created. Okay, no, not possible. We have emotions. Okay, we process emotions differently. Husband and wife have different levels of emotional maturity. So we are bound to make mistakes, we are learning in the process. Okay, we are not perfect, we cannot be perfect, we learn from mistakes. So learn to forgive your partner, I would say the most important thing. Learn to forgive your partner, learn to forget old mistakes. Don't bring the past again and again back. Okay, past about your in-laws, your mother-in-law, all of these things, don't bring it back. Okay, if you want, sit with your partner and say, this about the past is affecting me, tell me how can you apologize to me in a certain way that I feel that I am good enough. You can do this with the help of a therapist, you can also do this with the help of a counselor, you can do this. Okay, so it is going to help you. Any questions? Any questions? Any questions? Any questions? Okay, certain do's about a relationships I'm sharing with you. Okay, number one thing is that compliment your partner. Okay, I have seen husbands and wife on their WhatsApp chat complimenting their colleagues in their office on their smile, on their physique, on their you could say how they look, on their shape. So many things I have seen them showing them their chats, that I like a particular girl at office. I like, you compliment so many people here and there, you compliment so many people, you freely give out compliments. Just remember the day when you were married to this girl, to this guy. See your album. Okay, see your marriage album. When you see your marriage album, you see the innocence on your face, on your wife's face, on your husband's face, and see why you both got married. Okay, what was common in you, what was that thing which made you walk towards each other, and now why are you fighting so much, you know? And okay, your wife has become maybe fatter than before, has gained weight, or you are out of shape, your husband is out of shape. Okay, there are so many things which have messed up. This is bound to happen, but still compliment your partner, motivate your partner to get back to the previous weight, to exercise with you, to take care of her health, of his health. You have to do this. If you don't motivate your partner, who will motivate? And how will she or he motivate you back? So this is important. Praise your partner, compliment your partner, motivate your partner to get out of the mess they are into. Don't say my partner is a mess. No, that's your friend. That's your friend you married with, you know. So if your friend is in mess, so what we say, a friend in need is a friend indeed. So prove your friendship to your partner, help them get out of their mess, financial mess also. Wives should help their husbands get out of their financial mess, help them support the family. Okay, also earn with them. Okay, get them out of, wife has thyroid, she has gained weight, I don't like my wife, she has become healthier and more you could say out of shape, I don't like her. No, help her get out of this. Maybe she has got thyroid because of overthinking, because of you being not present in the marriage, because of you neglecting her, because of you not being present in her pregnancy, because of you not giving her time, because of the depression, of the postpartum depression she's having. So many things, maybe you are the reason of the mess that is happening with your partner, and then you blame your partner makes your life messier. No, it's your partner. Some issue with the internet. Yeah, we are back. Next is that, okay, what is next? Some questions, please. Even if it is one or two people right now live, I would love to have some questions. I would love to have some questions. Okay, we are proceeding to Have a common me time and we time. Okay, spend time together. Okay, maybe play games together, maybe engage in sports together, have hobbies together. Also focus on your hobbies. I have seen women in married life left their career for their husband. Okay, completely surrendered to their husband, completely dominated by their husband, no career, raising their kids. Okay, gained weight, no confidence, no self-esteem. Why are you doing this with yourself? There is one responsibility you have towards your own self, your own self respect, your own health, that is self care, self love. Have that responsibility intact. No person, your husband or your wife or your children, can take away this responsibility towards your own self. Internally, respect yourself. When people complain, my husband doesn't respect me, my wife doesn't respect me, they don't care for me, they don't love me, they don't show me affection, are you showing yourself the affection you are worthy of? You are worthy of a much, much, much bigger affection and much more intense love, which is first going to be internal by yourself, and then the same reflection will come from your partner. So if you are missing on self love, I would like to tell you today is that start respecting yourself, your body, your mind, your spirituality, your goals, your career, your health, your appearance, your well being, your emotions. Take care of all of these things, because really what matters is you, and everyone around you is a byproduct. The relationships are a byproduct of you, and the relationship starts with you, your wife, your husband, your daughter, your mother. So you have to take care of that you. Any questions till now? We have to take care of the time. It's 7:46. Any questions? Any questions? Okay. Next tip I want to share for good married life, happy married life. Okay. You could say less of a worse married life. Okay. If not happier. Okay. Whenever you think that I want to change something in my partner, and then your partner says, you also have to change something in you. Okay. Yes, that is but obvious. Okay. We have to have a certain agreement over things, that this is what you have to change, this is what I have to change. Okay. But what I say, first you change, then I will change. First you show me love, I will show. First you show me trust, I will show. First you show me respect, I will show. First you show me care, I will show. Why? Why are we waiting to play our role? Why? Because of the fear of the investment being not coming back as return. If I invest so much in the relationship, I give so much of love and I don't get, then it will be disappointment. I'll be sad, I'll be depressed. Yes, that is there. But when you give to your partner, give it as if you are just giving, not expecting anything in return. Just try doing this once. Okay, why we give so much of love to animals? Come on, guys. You see a stray dog and you are like, oh wow, such a cute stray dog. Oh, take this biscuit, take this. Okay, you have so many pets. You take care of those pets. You show them love. Okay. Now even if the dog does not kiss you in return, does not say I love you, does not feed you biscuit in return. Okay, no, you are okay. Why? You just feel good by loving. Then why don't we do as human beings the same way? Why are we always in that expectation that I will give love only if it is coming back, or I see it coming back, or I see it as an investment, LIC जीवन के साथ भी जीवन के बाद भी? No, don't think of your love as an investment that will come back. Just think of it that I feel loved, I feel fuller by hugging the other person, I feel fuller by being with that person, I feel accomplished by seeing his or her accomplishments. Have that happiness from inside. So many people, they are fighting with their wife and their husband, and then going to old age home and giving their food. It's good, you go to old age home, you're taking care of people who are needy for love, who don't have parents, who don't have children, orphanage. Yes, very nice. What about your wife, your husband? Okay, even if I want to talk about your own parents, parental love. Okay, not respecting your parents and going to old age homes and then showing your love to other parents. Okay, I'm saying that is good, do that, but start from your own house. Okay, charity begins at home. So whatever love you have inside you, before showing to your colleague in your office, to your boss, to your so called Tinder girlfriends or boyfriends, or so many options which you have other than your marriage. Okay, save that love for your family, your loved ones, your children, your wife, your husband. They are truly going to be with you till the end, this is for sure. Even if you take as investment, I would say invest in the right thing. If you take love as investment, then don't invest outside, invest here. You are going to get it back for sure. Any questions? We have 10 minutes more before we wind up. 10 minutes more. Please ask questions. 10 minutes more only. Okay, so now let's talk about what is marriage counseling. Okay, marriage counseling. Okay, marriage counseling, people think counseling. Okay, what is counseling? Oh, there is a person, he's a psychologist, or he is a person who deals with people who are so called, we could say, insane people. No, let's not go for counseling. Okay, when we talk about marriage counseling, couples therapy, relationship coaching. Okay, now why do we need this? Sometimes you are fighting with your husband, your wife, your in-laws, your mother and father, your children, and they are the cause of the problem. They are the cause of the problem. Then how do I deal with such a problem? How do I talk to my husband? Because if he is not ready to listen to me, how do I talk to my wife if he or she is not ready to listen to me? How do I communicate with my in-laws? They are not ready to understand my point of view. Or even if they are not understanding my point of view, I am unable to process the emotions. So much of turmoil inside me, so much of self-hate, so much of self-judgment inside me. How do I get rid of this? It's very important to have a support system, and this is where counseling comes into picture. Counseling is a professional support system for people where they feel they have emotions inside them, where they want to vent out their emotions, have a better understanding of their relationship, understand what they are feeling, why they are feeling, how to cope up with those feelings, how to stop feeling depressed, lonely, guilty, anxious about the future. Whatever struggles you are having with respect to your mental health, your relationship, how can I improve relationship with my wife, my husband? Okay, how can I get on talking terms with my wife or husband? How can I prevent divorce? Or how can I know that if I really want to take divorce? There are certain marriages where divorce is the way out. Okay, and some people, they just continue their marriage. So let me get a opinion from a professional who can tell me that if our is this marriage eligible for divorce, is this situation eligible for divorce, will divorce be the right thing or you will regret later on? So that is why I would suggest, whenever you have difficulties in coping up with your issues, your marital issues, counseling platform or counseling environment offers you a 100% confidential one-to-one session, which is going to be confidential, it is going to be insightful, it is going to be thought provoking, it is going to be a great brainstorming session about your issues and coming to a solution which is not by the counselor, it is by you. The counselor is not going to give you any solution to your problem, but it is going to help you steer towards a solution which is best suited for you. So that is why I would encourage everyone, even at, if you are at Manyog, you are following Manyog, do opt for counseling wherever you require assistance, specifically related to relationship and marriage issues. Any questions? We have 7 minutes more before we wind up. Questions. Okay, one more thing I want to share is that usually couples taunt each other a lot. Okay, taunt means, okay, I can say something directly and I want to just say it the other way around. Okay, I want to give signals to that person. Okay, maybe I'm unhappy with my husband and my husband says, what is there in food? And I'm like, I take that plate and like bang it on the table. So my husband is like, I think my wife is angry. Okay, this is called what? Gestures. You are giving gestures, you are giving indications, non-verbal, taunting in some way. Okay, telling something to someone. Okay, giving some signals to that person. Why do we want to give signals? Do we have our capacity of talking intact? Then why do we don't really talk? Why can I not say to my husband is that, dear husband, dear so and so, dear my friend, whatever is his name, sit down. Today I feel really angry. He will say, why? On this. He will say, Isme, why you need to get angry on this? But I really feel angry because I feel that what you said, it means this. He says, no, I did not mean this. But I feel like you said this. That is why I'm angry. That is why I'm disappointed. That is why I'm sad. Direct communication. Verbal communication is the key to a happy married life. Verbal communication. You speak clearly what you feel. Why are you afraid of showing your feelings to your partner? Why? Do you fear losing your dominance? Do you don't want to appear vulnerable? Do you don't want to appear like I am needy? Is it so? Could be your fear of abandonment from your childhood. Your parents did not give you enough love, support, and then you have fear that people will leave you. Okay, that is another story. So I would say use as much as verbal communication with your partner in a married life. Okay. Any questions? We are going to wind up in 5 minutes. I have one or two points to discuss, dear friends. Okay, coming to some of the important points. Next is stop complaining. My wife is not good. My husband is not good. My husband has these habits. My wife has these habits. Others wives are good. Other husband is better. You can't get a better wife. You can't get a better husband. If you get remarried to another person of your choice, there will be clearly issues also in that marriage. Why? Because you are not correcting your part of the problem. In a relationship, there are two parts of the problem: other person and you. When you don't change your part, you keep on meeting the same person again. Just the face is going to change, the name is going to change, but you will find all of my wives are same, all of my husbands are same, all of my relationships, all of the girls, all of the guys I dated were same. No, because you did not change your part of the relationship. So stop complaining. What you have is the best. What you have is the best. Okay. If you have lentils in your plate, okay, don't be greedy for pizza. Okay, enjoy and enjoy the lentils. Okay, they are nourishing for you. Next is don't feel small to apologize. Okay, as I said, forgive easily. Okay, forgive easily, but also seek forgiveness. Sometimes you were late when you committed to someone because of some reason. You spoke to the your wife's or husband's family not in a good way. Apologize. Yes, my mood was not good. I did not have control on my words. I could not take care of what I was saying. That yes, it was wrong on my part and I will correct. That does not make you small. Okay, always apologize when it's needed. Just we are nearing towards the end of the session. Any questions, please ask. Very few time left. Questions. Questions. Okay, I'm coming towards the end of the session. Okay, whenever you have fight in your relationship, fight, argument, dissatisfaction, what I say, okay, you don't understand. What you say, I don't understand. What you say, I don't agree. What I say, you don't agree. So let's fight. Okay, let's get the swords out. Okay, when you have such a circumstance, this is the most important tip which I'm going to share. Do it in the most dignified way. Do it in the most dignified way. Do it in the most respectful way. Do it in the most humane way, logical way, rational way, sensitive way. Have empathy towards each other. Don't make it a mess. Don't make it a sight, a visual, you could say, treat for other people, for gossip mongers, for other people to see and to cherish that, wow, they are fighting. Okay, so keep your fights, I would say, discussions, healthy discussions within the four walls. Keep your children out of your issues. the children you born and brought up in this life, okay, you bought them in this life, okay, they did not ask you as parents, okay, you brought them here, and their mental health, their physical health is your responsibility. Don't mess with their mental health, physical health. Take care of their mental health, physical health, and always keep them away from these fights. It is going to affect them mentally, and then it is going to create more people with psychological issues in the future. So please avoid your children being a part of your conflicts, and don't take them on your sides, okay, don't do all of these things also. So I would like to wind up the session. If you have any questions, please do ask. Please do ask any questions. Any questions? We have Mokshita, we have Tripathi and Trideep and Seema and 3M Club and Natali. Any questions? Please ask. We'll wind up the session. Please. So, okay, thank you so much, all my dear friends who are live in this session, and even those people who are going to watch this recording later on. I'm so thankful to Manyog to give me this opportunity to speak at their platform on relationships, and I would love to do this again in the future. Thank you all for being a lovely audience, and with this note, signing off, Gurpreet Singh for today. Wish you all a good day ahead and good night. Take care, everyone.